Thank you, Mr. Collins. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission's pre-hearing conference on case number 9471, in the matter of the application of Transource Maryland LLC for a CPCN to construct two new 230 kV transmission lines associated with the Independence Energy Connection Project in portions of Harford and Washington counties. All right, let's begin by taking appearances, and what we'll do is we'll start with Commission Staff Counsel. We'll work our way across the council table, and then we'll bring folks from the audience up to either mic to introduce themselves. Mr. Dean, we'll begin with you.
Michael Dean, on behalf of the staff of the Maryland Public Service Commission. I would also like to enter the appearance of my co-counsel, Lloyd Spivak.
Great. All right.
Good morning. Gary L. Alexander and Michael Raker on behalf of the Maryland Office of People's Counsel.
My name is Chip McLeod, and I'm here on behalf of the organization known as Stop Transource Power Lines Maryland, Inc. And there are a number of individuals who are members of that organization who have also filed as intervening parties, but we will try to consolidate as many of those as we go forward, so we can speak on behalf of most of them.
All right, very good.
Hi, I'm Sandra McLemore on behalf of the Power Plant Research Program at Department of Natural Resources. I'd also like to enter the appearance of my co-counsel, Steve Towson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Will Dubois, Max Curran, and Jessica Reba on behalf of the applicant, Transource Maryland LLC.
Good afternoon. And so if I could ask members of the audience who have petitioned to intervene, if you'll go to either mic and just introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Kearney, and I represent the Harford County Council.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is James Rutledge, and I represent two of the affected landowners, Tony and Cynthia Tanner, and also Dan and Mary Beth Scott. We are intervening separately. We're not members of Stop Transource.
Very good. Good afternoon.
Bradley J. Neitzel from the Harford County Law Department on behalf of Harford County, who has a pending petition to intervene.
Good afternoon.
Kristen Comer, Norrisville resident, affected landowner.
Good afternoon.
Hello, my name is Baron Shaw. I own Shaw Orchards, which is also affected.
Good afternoon. All right, why don't we take up next petitions to intervene. So I will read off the petitions I have. We have DNR and PPRP. We have Tony Tanner and Cynthia Tanner, Mary Beth Scott and Daniel John Scott, Randy Comer and Joanne Comer, Baron Todd Shaw, Donald Edwards and Jody Lee Edwards, Keith Comer and Kristen Comer, Curtis Comer and Bonnie Comer, Harriet Crow, Harford County, Maryland, Emily Sierensitz and Travis Sierensitz, apologize. Sorensis, thank you very much. Stop Transource Power Line, and Harford County Council. Any objections to any of these interveners? All right, hearing none.
No, you're not.
Yes.
No.
Very good. Hearing none, the petitions to intervene for all those parties are granted. All right, next let's go to our procedural schedule. And Mr. Dean, I want to thank you for working with the other parties on a proposed procedural schedule. And if you would not mind passing it out and introducing it.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Power Plant Research Program and the applicants were the main parties that worked on the schedule. And if I make any errors, I'm sure they'll correct me. Our proposed schedule has testimony by Transource on June 29, 2018. The Power Plant Research Program will provide a status update regarding the completeness of the information they have at that time on July 13, 2018. There's a proposal for a public hearing in each county in early to mid-September 2018.
Your Honor,
Yes.
just for September 2018, whenever those are scheduled. Oh, sorry. Whenever those are scheduled, like obviously it can't be on the 3rd for Labor Day, but also I ask that they not be scheduled on September 10 or 11, which is the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, nor on the days of Tuesday the 18th or Wednesday the 19th, which is the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur.
Thank you.
And also, Your Honor, I would like to say that PPRP reserves the right to modify the schedule in the event that we do not receive the additional information we need in order to do our evaluation at that time. I just want to go ahead and put that on the record as well.
Yes, of course.
Ms. McLemore, I wanted to ask a clarification. Did you say you have a right to revise the schedule or file? Would PPRP do that on their own accord, or would they come to the commission?
Of course, we would come to the commission. We agree to this. However, there was some information that was not in the application that we will need.
I understand. I just wanted to clarify for the record that it won't be changed except through the commission.
Of course.
The next date would be November 16, 2018 for the direct testimony of all parties. We're proposing a public hearing in each county possibly the week of December 3rd. Rebuttal testimony would be due on December 21st, 2018.
Could I interject something real quick there too as well? I would also like to request the right to also include testimony replying to the public comments in that SIR rebuttal testimony. In a case, from a previous case, some comments were brought up at the public hearing, and PPRP wanted to provide some factual analysis to respond to it, and there was no specific place to do that, and this would provide that opportunity.
All right, thank you.
And SIR rebuttal testimony would be January 18.
2019.
Excuse me, 2019, yes. We've suggested evidentiary hearings would be between February 5th and February 20th, depending on the commission's schedule. And following that, depending on when the hearings are set, we would have initial briefs 20 days after the last hearing and reply briefs 10 days after that.
10 business days, Your Honor.
Well,
both of these are business days. So it's 20 business days for the after the evidentiary hearing for the initial briefs, and 10 business days thereafter for the reply briefs.
For discovery, normally we have 10 business days, and we'd like to keep that up through the filing of testimony on the 16th, at which point it would go to 7 business days. And then after the rebuttal, after the SIR rebuttal testimony, it would go down to 5 business days, as I understand.
I think we had 5 days after rebuttal and then 3 days after SIR rebuttal.
Yes.
Okay.
And, sorry.
No, it's all right. Mr. Bean, you finished with?
I am finished.
All right, thank you. I was going to ask for any comments, concerns about the proposed schedule. We'll go first to the applicants. Mr.
I just
Du Bois.
wanted to complete, the other part we did discuss was objection deadlines for those dates, and it was 10 business days for objections in the 10-day period, 4 business days for objections in the 7-day period, 3 in the 5-day period, and 1 in the 3-day period.
5 businesses.
You meant, yeah, you meant
I'm
5
sorry.
days, 10 and 5 days, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yep, got it. Yeah, yes, sir.
Honorable Commission, this is the first time I've been before the Public Service Commission, and so I just wanted to ask, I anticipate that I may have an occasion to need a subpoena for a deposition of a non-party for material evidence relating to our issues that we're going to be presenting. So I couldn't find anything, in the rules or printed regulations except that we could request subpoena and that you could consider whether to grant it. But I would need to subpoena the witnesses I anticipate in advance to be able to submit their testimony as direct testimony and not just ask for their appearance on a subpoena at the evidentiary hearing. So I don't necessarily know where to go from here with that, but I want to just raise it as a concern, and any wise guidance I can have from the Commission on that would be greatly appreciated on behalf of my clients, the Tanners and
All
Scott.
right, I appreciate that. I appreciate you raising it. So why don't we start with this? I think the best way to begin approaching this is for you to work with our staff counsel in terms of some guidance staff counsel can give you on that. You certainly can request from the Commission a subpoena, but for doing that, I think it probably would be best to work with staff counsel on kind of that process. Staff counsel may be able to give you some guidance on that.
Yes, certainly, and I only raised it because I was pretty sure that I wouldn't be able to get that information through the data request process.
Okay.
So I thank you for that advice.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Any additional questions about concerns about the procedural schedule?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just to comment on the procedural schedule. Oh yes, I'm Chip McLeod on behalf of Stop Transource. Just don't want to rule out the possibility of a site visit in the course of these proceedings, and we can make a motion that be considered at the appropriate time. It's not in the schedule, but it was brought up with the parties in advance that that may be something that may be beneficial, and we might advocate for that. And it's quite lovely in northern Harford County in the fall. So,
okay, very good. All right, anything else on the procedural schedule? Okay, if not, what we're going to do is we're going to take it under advisement, and we will issue a procedural schedule order very shortly. Okay,
Your Honor,
Mr. Alexander.
I'm sorry. Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you may change some dates because it's under advisement. I don't think they'll have any big effect, but for March is March, I have to get the years right, March 2018. Friday starts Passover, so I'll be observing on Friday and Monday. And I think we already went through September 2018, if I recall. Yeah, we went through that. And unless we go beyond beyond March 2019, I'll be okay. Passover then, just in case, begins on April 19.
Okay.
2019.
2019, got it. All right, thank you. Let's go next for the pro se interveners who will be representing yourselves. I understand, and then some will be represented by Stop Transource Power Lines. But for those representing yourself, both staff and OPC can provide assistance if you have questions about our process and our procedural schedule. We would encourage you to work collectively as a group, and if possible to delegate a single representative to ask questions of witnesses at our evidentiary hearings, and if possible to work collectively in filing briefs, testimony, and issuing data requests. That would be appreciated. In terms of the public hearings, the applicants, I'll direct you to work with our executive secretary, who will also be working with county officials in both Washington and Harford counties in terms of both the place and the dates for those public hearings. Okay. All right, that's all I have on my schedule. Do we have anything else?
One item
Mr.
I missed,
DeBoer.
Your Honor, is that the parties had also, those present prior to this hearing had discussed exchanging among the parties testimony and discovery electronically rather than paper copies, recognizing that the commission still needs paper copies of testimony, briefs, etc.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fine. Look to do that. All right, discovery will commence immediately for all parties. As always, if there are discovery disputes, the Commission would appreciate the parties working together to try to work those disputes out. If they cannot be worked out, please bring them to the Commission promptly, and we will resolve the disputes. Okay, anything else before we adjourn? Okay, hearing none. Thanks, everyone. We are adjourned.
Thank you.